My dear friend, if I told you that just 3 words could change your financial destiny and open the floodgates of abundance beyond your imagination, would you believe me? Or would you laugh, roll your eyes and say, "Oh please, not another get-rich-quick talk"? Well, if that's you, don't worry. I'd probably roll my eyes too, if I hadn't seen it work with my own 2 eyes again and again in the most miraculous ways. But before you jump to conclusions, stay with me for a few minutes, because today we're not talking about luck, hustle, or lottery tickets. We're talking about divine precision, how to command the universe with your words. Now, let's be honest. You've probably said affirmations before. Maybe you've whispered things like, "I am wealthy," "I attract abundance," or "money loves me." And then crickets. The rent still comes due, your bank account still sighs, and your wallet still feels like it's been on a diet for far too long. You begin to wonder, is this manifestation thing a scam? Maybe it works for other people, but not for me. I know that feeling, that quiet frustration of doing everything right, only to feel like the universe missed your memo. But listen closely, because your words aren't the problem. The problem is how you use them. There's a rhythm to creation, a language of energy that responds not to your words alone, but to the power behind them. And that's why today, we're going to unlock the secret to summoning $100 million, or whatever amount your heart desires, with 3 exact words. 3 words that align you with divine law, that open the floodgates of abundance already waiting for you. But before I reveal them, I want you to understand this. Your struggle with money is not about money at all. It's about belief. You see, most people live like beggars at a royal banquet, asking, wishing, hoping for scraps when the whole feast has already been laid out before them. The universe doesn't decide who gets to be rich. It only mirrors what you believe about yourself. If you see yourself as small, undeserving, or unlucky, the mirror reflects lack. But when you rise up and speak with authority, the mirror shifts and reality bends. Now, I know you're busy. I know there are hundreds of videos you could be watching right now, promising to teach you how to manifest in 5 minutes, or rewire your brain overnight. But here's the thing. This channel isn't like those long 2-hour lectures that make you feel good but change nothing. We keep it short, powerful, and practical, so that in just a few minutes, you walk away feeling different, thinking different, acting different, because transformation doesn't need time. It needs truth. So here's the truth. You don't get money, you command it. You don't ask for abundance, you align with it. And when you do, the universe has no choice but to obey. Let me tell you why this matters so deeply. Every time you say, "I don't have enough," or "I'm broke," or "money is hard to come by," you're giving the universe an instruction. You're literally placing an order for lack, and the universe, ever so obedient, delivers exactly that. You're not punished for your words, my dear. You're manifesting through them. Think of your words like a magic password that opens specific doors. When you say, "I can't afford it," you open the door to scarcity. But when you say, "I am one with infinite supply," you open the door to wealth. It's not complicated. It's spiritual physics. Energy responds to command. Now, before I give you those 3 words, I want to set the stage so you understand the science of it. The human mind is like a transmitter, constantly sending out frequencies. Every thought, every emotion, every word you speak emits a vibration that either attracts or repels what you desire. When you complain, you broadcast shortage. When you give thanks, you broadcast abundance. This isn't magic, it's resonance. Just like a radio tunes to a certain frequency to receive a station, you must tune your consciousness to the frequency of wealth. That's why poor people often stay poor. Even after winning the lottery, their frequency hasn't changed. They still believe in lack. So, the universe finds a way to return them there. But when you change your inner frequency, you could lose everything and gain it back tenfold, because you're now a magnet for prosperity. So, here's where the fun begins. The 3 words I'm about to share with you are not just words, they're commands. They vibrate at the frequency of creation itself. They are the bridge between thought and manifestation. But before we unlock them, let me ask you, Are you ready to stop struggling for money and start commanding it? Are you ready to speak like the heir of abundance that you are? Because if you are, I want you to sit up a little straighter, breathe a little deeper, and feel the power that's about to rise within you. Now, the first word is I. Simple, isn't it? But don't underestimate it. I is the name of divine identity, the name of creation itself. Remember when Moses asked God, "What shall I say when they ask who sent me?" And God replied, "I am that I am." The word I is not just a pronoun, it's power. Every time you say I, you are invoking divine authority. You're declaring, I am the center of my creation. That's why it's dangerous to follow I am with words like broke, sick, or unlucky. You're giving a royal command, and the universe obeys. The second word is command. Not ask, not wish, not hope, but command. There's a difference between begging for a blessing and issuing a decree. When a king speaks, he doesn't wonder if the servants heard him. He doesn't repeat himself in panic. He speaks once, and it is done. That's how you must speak to the universe. With faith so calm, so certain that you never question whether your words will manifest. And the third word is now, because all power exists in the present moment. Not someday, not next month, not when I finally figure things out. Creation happens now. When you say, I command wealth now, you collapse time. You bring the unseen into the seen. You take a future possibility and anchor it in the present. So, here they are. The three exact words to summon $100 million. I command now. Say it aloud with me boldly like you mean it. I command now. Feel that shift. That's not imagination. That's your energy rearranging itself to match a higher vibration. That's the universe standing at attention, waiting for further instruction. Now, before you start commanding yachts and private jets, let's ground this in wisdom. The universe doesn't respond to greed, it responds to purpose. So, when you say, I command, now it's not about snatching money from thin air, it's about aligning with your divine inheritance. You're not taking from anyone, you're opening to what's already yours. Here's how you put this into practice. Step one, stop begging. Stop saying, please universe, send me money. You are not a beggar. You are a creator. Instead, wake up each morning, stand tall and say, I command divine wealth. Now, not because you're trying to convince yourself, but because you're declaring truth. Step two, detach from the how. When you command, you don't chase. You don't wonder where the money will come from. You simply know. Imagine placing an order at a restaurant. You don't follow the waiter to the kitchen to make sure they're cooking it. You sit, relax, and trust it's coming. That's how you must treat your manifestations. And step three, align your actions. Commanding is not about sitting on your couch waiting for $100 million to fall through the roof. It's about taking inspired steps in harmony with your declaration. If you say, I command abundance now, and you feel the nudge to start that business, make that call or share that idea, do it. The universe works through movement. Every command requires action to anchor it in the physical world. When your words, beliefs, and actions move in the same direction, the impossible becomes inevitable. Let's test this right now. Close your eyes for just a moment. Picture $100 million, not as a fantasy, but as a reality that's already yours. Feel it. See yourself moving through life with peace, not pressure. Hear the sound of success, laughter, joy, generosity. Now whisper it, I command. Now, doesn't that feel different? That surge of confidence, that peace, that's divine power awakening in you. Money is energy, and energy loves direction. If you don't give it one, it drifts. But when you speak with conviction, the whole universe organizes itself to fulfill your decree. Now, don't rush to the comment section yet, because in part 2, I'm going to show you how to activate those 3 words to make them work faster, stronger, and more precisely. You'll learn how to clear resistance, amplify your magnetism, and use this same principle not just for money, but for health, love, and destiny. But before you go, say it one more time with faith that moves mountains. I command now. You've just issued your first decree to the universe. Congratulations. You've stepped into your power. Now, stay tuned, because in the next few minutes, we'll go even deeper into how to make your command unstoppable. Now that you've spoken the 3 exact words I command, now let's talk about how to make that command magnetic. Because a command without belief is like sending a letter with no address. It floats in the cosmic mailroom, waiting for clarity. So today, we're going to anchor your command with conviction so strong that heaven itself moves on your behalf. Here's what I want you to remember. The universe doesn't respond to desperation. It responds to authority. It's not your need that moves the universe, it's your faith. Think about it. When you walk into a store and confidently buy something, you don't beg the cashier to let you pay. You simply hand over what's yours. That's how divine wealth works. You don't have to prove you're worthy of it. You just have to claim it. But here's where most people go wrong. They command one day and cancel it the next. They say, I command wealth now in the morning. And by evening, they're saying, I'm so broke. It's like planting a seed and digging it up every 2 hours to see if it's growing. You can't keep disturbing your manifestation with worry. Faith means you trust that what you said is already done, even when your bank account hasn't caught up yet. So let's fix that. Here's the first secret to activating your command. Persistence without pressure. You don't need to shout your words every 5 minutes. You just need to hold them as truth. Think of it like a light switch. Once it's on, you don't keep flipping it. You simply let the light shine. Say your command once, feel it deeply, and then act like it's already true. That's what separates masters from wishes. Now let's talk about resistance, because this is where your subconscious plays tricks on you. The moment you say, I command $100 million, now that little voice in your head whispers, who are you kidding? You can't even pay your bills. Sound familiar? Don't worry, that voice isn't your enemy. It's just your old programming trying to protect you. It's been taught that wealth belongs to others, that abundance is rare, that miracles are unrealistic, but you can lovingly retrain it. Here's a simple way. When doubt speaks, don't fight it, redirect it. If your mind says that's impossible, reply calmly, all things are possible now. If it says you don't deserve that much, smile and say, I am divinely deserving of all good. You see, your subconscious doesn't understand sarcasm. It takes everything literally. So, teach it a new truth through repetition. You'll know it's working when those fearful thoughts start to lose their power. The second secret is gratitude in advance. Gratitude is like the send button on your command. It's what tells the universe, I've received it already. Every morning before you even get out of bed, whisper, thank you, universe, for the $100 million that's now unfolding for me. Don't just say it, feel it. Feel the joy of financial freedom, the peace of knowing you'll never worry about bills again, the thrill of giving generously. Gratitude makes your command irresistible because it transforms you into the vibration of receiving. And here's the third secret. Act from the end. This means living as if your command is already fulfilled. Ask yourself, how would I think, speak, and move if I already had $100 million? Would you still complain about small inconveniences? Would you still fear opportunities? Or would you walk with calm confidence knowing that everything you touch prospers? Start acting like that version of you now, because the universe doesn't deliver based on what you want, it delivers based on what you are. Now I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds wonderful, but how do I keep faith when my circumstances scream otherwise? That's where spiritual humor helps. When life shows you lack, don't panic, laugh. Yes, laugh. Laughter breaks fear's spell. It says to the universe, I refuse to take this illusion seriously. The moment you can laugh in the face of lack, you've already won, because laughter is faith wearing a smile. You can even play a little game with yourself. When something unexpected happens, say an expense pops up, don't groan. Instead say, oh, how wonderful, something greater is on its way to cover this and more. It may sound silly, but I promise you this playful energy confuses fear and empowers faith. You'll begin to notice unexpected checks, opportunities, and divine coincidences appearing out of nowhere. Let me share a little story. There was once a woman who had only $12 left in her bank account. Instead of panicking, she decided to test this very principle. Every day she said with confidence, "I command divine supply now." She didn't know where it would come from. She just believed. Within 2 weeks, a forgotten client paid her thousands. A friend returned money she'd lent years ago. And a new opportunity opened up that changed her entire financial situation. Why? Because she stopped asking for miracles and started commanding them. You see, when you speak the language of power, life rearranges itself to match your decree. The universe isn't stingy. It's obedient. It's waiting for you to stop whispering like a victim and start declaring like a creator. Here's something fun I want you to try. Right after this video, find a quiet space, look in the mirror, and say these words slowly. I command wealth now. I command success now. I command joy now. Watch your eyes as you speak. Feel that spark. That's the real you, the one who knows it's already done. Now, let's add one more layer of power to this. After you've spoken your command, go do something generous. Give a little, even if it's small. Buy someone lunch, tip extra, or donate to a cause that matters to you. Why? Because giving tells the universe, I have more than enough. It reinforces your command through action. And what you give out always multiplies back to you. Remember, you're not trying to get rich. You're expressing the richness of who you already are. Money is just one of the many ways the universe celebrates your worth. When you shift from wanting to being, everything changes. The chase ends. The flow begins. Now, let's talk about something powerful. Momentum. You've made your first command, but don't let it end there. Keep your momentum alive by staying in the vibration of faith. Don't watch for results like a nervous gardener waiting for sprouts. Just know it's working. Every time you walk, talk, or breathe with confidence, you're fertilizing your manifestation. You can even make it a daily ritual. Every morning before checking your phone, put your hand on your heart and say, I command now. Let those 3 words set the tone for your day. When challenges arise, repeat them silently. When opportunities appear, say them with gratitude. Soon, I command now. Won't just be words. It'll become your way of life. You might notice people around you reacting differently. Doors that were closed start to open. Random conversations lead to unexpected blessings. Ideas pop into your mind that feel guided, inspired, almost supernatural. That's how you know your command is alive and working. And listen, my friend, don't measure success by how much money you see in your account today. Measure it by how much faith you hold in your heart. Because faith is the seed and money is just the harvest. If you nurture the seed, the harvest must come. Now let me give you a little challenge before you go. For the next 7 days, speak your command daily. Don't just say it, embody it. Act like a millionaire who already has it. Think generously, walk confidently, make decisions from abundance, not fear. And at the end of those 7 days, come back to this video and share what happened. I promise you'll have a story to tell. And if you're tempted to doubt, remember this. The universe isn't testing you, it's training you. Every delay is just divine timing, organizing your blessing. Keep commanding, keep believing. And above all, keep your joy. Because joy is wealth in its purest form. Let's say it one last time together. This time with full conviction. I command now. Yes. Say it again. Feel it vibrate in your bones. Feel that authority rise up. That's not just air leaving your lungs. That's creation in motion. Every cell in your body just agreed with abundance. Now, here's what I want you to do next. Take one small step that matches your command. Maybe it's starting that idea you've been delaying. Maybe it's reaching out to a potential partner. Or maybe it's simply organizing your finances to prepare for the wealth that's coming. Action anchors energy. Don't wait until it feels perfect. Just move. Even if it's small, the universe can only steer a moving ship. You've already done the most important part. You've spoken your command. Now your only job is to stay in faith and stay in flow. You don't chase, you attract. You don't hope, and before you go, I want to remind you, this channel exists to wake up that divine power within you. We don't do long, drawn-out lectures that drain your time. We deliver short, potent truths that shift your life instantly. So if you felt something stir in you today, if even a single sentence made your heart leap, then stay connected. Like this video, share it with someone who needs a reminder of their power. And most importantly, drop a comment with the words, I command now. Let the universe see your declaration written in energy. You're not just a viewer. You're a creator, a commander of your own destiny. And from this moment forward, your words carry authority. Every I command now you speak ripples through creation, rearranging circumstances, opening doors and magnetizing blessings. So walk boldly, my friend. Speak as one who knows that all good is already yours. The next time life tries to test your faith, smile and say, nice try, but I already commanded my blessing. Because when you speak with the certainty of divine law, nothing in heaven or earth can withhold what is yours. Say it once more. I command now. And when you say those words, feel them not as a request, but as a declaration. You're not asking the universe for permission. You're instructing it with authority born from divine alignment. You're not hoping that something will happen someday. You're affirming that it already exists in unseen form, and that it's now unfolding into your physical reality. Every I command now you speak sends a frequency, a vibration, a pulse through the field of creation. That pulse doesn't get lost. It echoes, it reverberates, it gathers matching energies, matching people, matching circumstances, and it returns to you multiplied. That's why faith is not passive. It's an energetic stance, a certainty that bends reality to your belief. So as you move through your day, don't let the outer world dictate your inner truth. There may still be bills to pay, situations that seem stuck, or people who don't believe the way you do, but that's irrelevant. What's real is the unseen realm, the spiritual factory where all manifestation begins. Every thought you think and every word you speak is an instruction to that factory. When you say, I command now, the machinery of the divine starts working on your behalf, aligning things you can yet see, removing obstacles you didn't even know existed, and accelerating doors that once seemed locked. You don't need to figure out how it will happen. That's not your job. The how is the universe's domain. Your part is to remain aligned, to speak with unwavering conviction, to stay in gratitude and to act in harmony with your declaration. If you've commanded abundance, then act abundant. If you've commanded opportunity, then prepare as though it's already arrived. If you've commanded healing, then walk like one who is already whole. Because your outer actions signal your inner agreement with your words. And that's where miracles multiply. Every great transformation begins in the invisible. The oak tree lives inside the acorn, long before it pushes through the soil. In the same way, your command contains the blueprint of your breakthrough. When you water it daily with faith, gratitude, and action, it must grow. It can't not. Divine law has no loopholes. It responds to faith the way a seed responds to light. So the moment you align your mind, speech, and movement with your command, the harvest is inevitable. For the next 7 days, I want you to live as though your word is law. Don't argue for your limitations. Don't rehearse the old story. When doubt tries to creep in, catch it immediately and replace it with power. Speak your truth again. I command now. Feel that statement wash over every cell of your being. Let it replace every trace of fear with certainty. Because you're not hoping for a miracle, you are the miracle in motion. You've got to remember, the universe doesn't reward wishful thinking, it responds to energetic alignment. That's why your emotional state matters so much. When you command with joy, with gratitude, with expectancy, the vibration of that joy acts like a magnet for abundance. But when you speak from frustration or desperation, you send out mixed signals. So cultivate the feeling of already having it. That feeling is the secret code that unlocks the flow. Every time you smile in faith, every time you bless what you already have, every time you speak as if it's done, You're speeding up the manifestation. You're telling the universe, I'm ready. I'm in harmony. I'm walking in it now. And the universe, being obedient to your vibration, has no choice but to deliver what matches that frequency. Some people will say, but I've tried speaking affirmations before and nothing happened. The difference is in conviction. A command is not an affirmation. An affirmation hopes to convince the mind. A command directs creation. When you command, you're not negotiating, you're exercising divine authority. You're speaking as a co-creator, not as a beggar. There's a world of difference. The moment you shift from hoping to knowing, everything changes. Look at the world around you. Everything physical began as a spoken word, a thought, a vibration. The car you drive, the phone you hold, the house you live in, none of it existed until someone imagined it and declared it into form. You're no different. The same creative intelligence that shaped galaxies lives in you. And every time you speak with faith, that power responds. So don't take your words lightly. They're not random sounds. They are spiritual codes. They build, they move, they rearrange. Every I command now is like a divine password, unlocking doors that were once sealed shut. You don't have to shout it. You just have to mean it. Speak softly, but with inner thunder. That thunder is faith. That thunder is certainty. That thunder shakes the unseen realm until it delivers what's yours. And remember, your command is not only about money, it's about mindset, energy, peace, and purpose. True wealth isn't just currency, it's the flow of divine favor through every area of your life. When your faith becomes unshakable, everything attached to you starts to rise. Opportunities find you. People are drawn to your energy. Solutions appear effortlessly. That's not coincidence. That's alignment. Each morning, before the world grabs your attention, stand still for a few moments. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and speak your command with full authority. Say it not as a ritual, but as a decree. Then carry that energy throughout your day. Let your thoughts, words, and choices reflect it. When challenges arise, and they will, don't react with fear. Smile and say, nice try, but I already commanded my blessing. That simple statement recenters you in your power. It reminds you that divine timing is not denial, it's precision. Sometimes delays happen because what you've asked for requires rearrangement of other people's paths, resources, or timing. But don't mistake rearrangement for rejection. The universe never says no to a command of faith. It only says, not yet, we're organizing it. So your patience is not waiting in weakness, it's resting in confidence. That's maturity in faith. The next time your mind tries to wander into fear or comparison, stop and remind yourself, I am a commander of my destiny. I am one with the divine order that governs all creation. What I speak in alignment with truth must manifest. Feel that power course through you. Let it fill your chest, your voice, your thoughts. You'll notice that when you hold this energy long enough, circumstances start shifting in subtle ways. A message comes through, a door opens, an opportunity arrives, and that's not magic, that's divine law responding to your command. And as you walk this journey, remember to give thanks before you see results. Gratitude is the accelerant of manifestation. When you thank the universe for blessings not yet visible, you signal your belief that they're already done. Gratitude is faith's twin flame. It's what turns waiting into receiving. So every night, before you sleep, whisper a thank you for the wealth, peace, health, and opportunities already forming for you. Feel that warmth in your heart. It's the vibration of alignment. Now, here's something most people overlook. Action. Action doesn't have to be grand or perfect. It just has to be consistent. When you take even one small step in the direction of your command, you give energy a path to move. The universe can't steer a parked car. It moves through motion. So make that call. Write that plan. Clear that space. Whatever it is, do it with intention. Your effort is the bridge between the invisible and visible. As you move, stay sensitive to intuition. That quiet nudge you feel in your spirit. It's divine guidance. It might not make sense logically, but it always leads you closer to your command. Learn to trust those inner whispers more than external noise. When you obey them, you enter a flow where synchronicities multiply and life feels effortless. That's when you realize manifestation was never about control, it's about alignment. And alignment always begins with identity. You have to know who you are. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are not at the mercy of luck or chance. You are a vessel of divine intelligence, designed to co-create reality through intention and speech. The same life force that spoke light into existence lives in you. So when you say, I command now, you're echoing the creative rhythm of the universe itself. That's not arrogance, that's awareness. Carry yourself like one who knows. When you walk, walk with certainty. When you speak, speak with calm power. When you think, think like a creator. This is not pretending, it's embodying truth. The more you embody it, the more it becomes your reality. People will start noticing something different about you. They'll feel your presence before you speak. They won't be able to explain it, but they'll sense that you're anchored in something unshakable. That's the energy of a commander. And when blessings begin to flow, and they will, remember to share them. Don't hoard what comes, circulate it. Generosity keeps your energy open. When you give from overflow, you tell the universe that you trust the endless supply. Every act of giving becomes another command for increase. So bless others, support dreams, speak life, encourage those still learning to believe. The more light you share, the more light returns to you. This journey isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you already are. The divine didn't place you here to struggle endlessly. You were created to expand, to express, to experience abundance in every form, financially, emotionally, spiritually. So each time you speak your command, see it as a sacred act. You're not just changing your life. You're shifting energy on a cosmic scale. Your belief ripples into generations yet to come. And when your 7 days are complete, pause and look back. Notice the coincidences, the subtle shifts, the internal peace. That's evidence, that's manifestation in motion. Then keep going. Because the command doesn't end after a week. It becomes your way of life. You start living in a rhythm of faith, where every word carries power, and every day feels guided. If ever you falter, return to this truth. You don't chase, you attract. You don't beg, you believe. You don't strive, you flow. The universe is not against you, it's responding to you. And your command, spoken with faith, anchored in joy, has already set miracles in motion. They're on their way now, faster than you think. So lift your head, smile, and declare once more. Not as repetition, but as revelation. Send I command now. Send because you are not waiting for abundance. You are abundance becoming visible. And now that you've spoken it, the vibration has been sent out into the field of infinite potential. Don't underestimate what has just begun. The very moment you said those words, creation started rearranging itself to match your declaration. There are conversations being prepared that will lead to divine connections. There are opportunities already seeking you out. You might not see the evidence yet, but like a seed beneath the soil, something is germinating, alive, growing, inevitable. What's invisible today will soon become undeniable. That's the mystery of divine law. It doesn't announce itself with noise, it manifests quietly, then suddenly, every time you repeat your command, you strengthen the magnetic field around you. That field is like a signal broadcasting your belief to the universe. It's saying, this is who I am, this is what I expect, this is what I embody. And the universe, being obedient to energy, responds not to your words alone, but to the emotion behind them. That's why you must protect your emotional vibration like sacred treasure. Guard it from doubt, fear, and negativity. Those lower vibrations can't cancel your command, but they can delay its arrival. So instead of feeding fear, feed faith. Instead of rehearsing problems, rehearse your promise. Faith is not pretending things are perfect. It's knowing perfection is unfolding through every imperfection. When things look uncertain, that's not failure, it's divine recalibration. Sometimes the universe delays what you asked for to give you what you're truly ready for. Trust that timing. It's never punishment, it's precision. There are things being aligned behind the scenes that you couldn't arrange on your own. People are being positioned, resources are being gathered, timing is being adjusted, all in response to your command. So while you wait, worship with gratitude. While you work, speak with confidence. And while you rest, rest in assurance that it's already done. The mind may try to sabotage this truth. It will whisper, but what if it doesn't happen? What if nothing changes? When that happens, smile gently and say, thank you for your concern, but my faith outranks my fear. You don't have to silence doubt, just don't entertain it. Doubt is like static on the radio. It doesn't stop the music. It only distorts the signal. Stay tuned to the frequency of abundance. Speak as though it's already arrived. Imagine how it feels to receive it. Let that feeling live inside you until it becomes your normal vibration. Because once it does, reality has no choice but to mirror it. And as you move through your week, practice being unbothered by appearances. Appearances are deceptive. They're snapshots of temporary conditions, not permanent truth. You are not your bank balance. You are not your current circumstances. You are divine potential wrapped in human form. You carry the authority to command transformation, not just in your finances, but in your relationships, your health, your peace. You are the turning point in your own story. When you stand firm in that awareness, life starts responding differently. People treat you differently. Doors open without struggle. Things that once felt heavy become effortless because you're no longer forcing outcomes. You're flowing with creation. Every time you take a step in faith, you announce to the universe, I'm ready to receive. That readiness changes your entire aura. Others can sense it before you even speak. It's the quiet confidence that says, I know who I am, and I know what's mine. You don't need to convince anyone. You don't need to prove anything. Just walk in that knowing, and life will mirror it back to you. That's how spiritual authority works. It doesn't demand, it commands. It doesn't beg, it declares. And every declaration made in alignment with divine truth becomes a decree that cannot return void. You may have been told that faith means waiting patiently. But real faith isn't idle. It's active expectation. It's walking toward what you've commanded as if it's already done. That's why every small act matters. When you act in harmony with your command, you signal to the universe that you trust the unseen. Maybe it's sending that email, finishing that proposal, cleaning your workspace, or forgiving someone who once hurt you. These acts may seem unrelated to money or success, but energetically, they're clearing the pathway. The universe delivers best to an uncluttered soul. And don't forget, manifestation is not about control, it's about cooperation. You don't need to force outcomes. You simply align your thoughts, words, and actions with divine flow. Think of it like sailing. You don't make the wind blow, you set your sail to catch it. Your command is the sail, your faith is the direction, the universe is the wind. When they work together, movement becomes effortless. That's when miracles become natural. There will be moments when your old self tries to return. The self that doubted, that feared, that worried about lack. But now you know better. You know that lack is an illusion, a shadow cast by disbelief. The truth is, abundance has always been your natural state. The universe is overflowing with resources, ideas, opportunities. Scarcity only exists in perception. When you shift your perception, you shift your experience. Say to yourself often, I live in an abundant universe. Everything I need is already on its way to me. Say it until it feels real, because it is real. And don't forget the power of joy. Joy is not a reward for getting what you want. It's the frequency that brings it to you. When you laugh, when you dance, when you appreciate the small blessings, you radiate a vibration that says, I am open, I am grateful, I am ready. That vibration magnetizes miracles. Joy shortens the distance between desire and manifestation. So laugh more. Celebrate often. Even before the evidence shows up, act as if you've already received it. That joy will draw the blessing faster than worry ever could. If you could see the unseen right now, you'd be amazed. There are angels, energies, and circumstances working tirelessly to fulfill your command. There are invisible helpers adjusting the details, synchronizing the right people at the right time. That's why you don't need to micromanage the process. Just stay in the vibration of trust. Let the universe do its part while you keep doing yours, believing, speaking, acting, and receiving. And if at any moment you feel resistance, pause and breathe. Resistance isn't a sign that you're failing. It's a sign that something old is leaving to make room for something greater. The discomfort you feel during transformation is the breaking of limitation. Let it pass through without judgment. The more you resist change, the slower your blessing arrives. But the more you surrender in faith, the faster your miracle unfolds. Each day remind yourself of this: I am not waiting for the blessing is waiting for my readiness. That single shift in mindset transforms everything. It puts the power back where it belongs, with you. You are not powerless. You are not helpless. You are a vessel of divine creative power. You are designed to speak worlds into existence. The energy that formed galaxies responds instantly to your vibration. You are that powerful, that connected, that divine. Think of the many times in your life when something impossible suddenly worked out. A bill got paid unexpectedly. A door opened just in time. A person appeared with exactly what you needed. That wasn't coincidence, that was divine orchestration. And if it happened before, it can happen again. Only now it will happen faster, because now you're conscious of the process. Conscious creation is accelerated creation. The moment you become aware of your power, manifestation becomes your natural state. So keep your mind fixed on your command. Don't look sideways. Don't compare your journey to anyone else's. Comparison weakens focus, and focus is the fuel of manifestation. Your blessing has its own divine schedule. Someone else's timeline doesn't apply to you. What's yours can't miss you, and what misses you was never yours. Rest in that certainty. And when your manifestation begins to appear, when money starts flowing, opportunities start multiplying, peace begins expanding, don't forget to honor the process. Don't treat it as luck. Recognize it as the fruit of your faith. Celebrate it, but don't become complacent. Keep commanding, keep expanding. The universe has no limits, and neither do you. The moment you receive one blessing, it's just a sign that you're ready for the next. There's always more waiting to unfold. Now close your eyes for a moment and imagine your life fully aligned with your command. See the peace in your home, the freedom in your finances, the confidence in your decisions. Feel the joy of waking up each morning knowing you are walking in divine flow. That vision you see isn't fantasy, it's prophecy. It's your higher self showing you what's already true in the spirit. Keep returning to that vision every day until it becomes your reality. Because the truth is, you are already living in your answered prayer. Time just hasn't caught up yet. You've commanded, and the command has been heard. The universe is never deaf to certainty. Every vibration of I command now has been stamped into creation. And creation always delivers on what's decreed. So breathe, trust, and live as one who already has it. And when you share your story later, and you will have one to share, let it be a testimony of faith in action. Tell the world that it wasn't luck. It wasn't chance. It was divine law responding to unwavering belief. Tell them that once you stopped begging and started commanding, everything changed. Because it must. That's the nature of divine order. It never fails. So keep your heart open, your words powerful, and your spirit joyful. The universe is rearranging itself for your good right now. You are not waiting for your miracle. Your miracle is waiting for your acknowledgement. Speak again, with every ounce of power in your soul. Command now. Say it until every fiber of your being vibrates with it. Say it until the cells in your body hum in harmony with abundance. Say it until doubt can't recognize your voice anymore. Because this isn't just speech, it's creation. It's destiny unfolding. It's the sound of heaven agreeing with you. And as you walk forward from this moment, remember, nothing in this universe can withhold what you've already commanded in faith. It's done, it's yours, it's now. When this money comes, don't tell anyone. When the blessing finally appears, when the door that has been locked for years suddenly swings open, when the opportunities you prayed for finally start to flow, don't rush to announce it. Because some things that God gives you are meant to be protected in silence, not displayed in noise. You see, not every blessing is for public conversation. Some blessings are sacred. Some breakthroughs are so divine, so strategic, that even one careless word can invite opposition from those who were never meant to see what God is doing in you. When this money comes, when the abundance you've been sowing for finally starts to manifest, you must learn to walk quietly, because silence is not secrecy. Silence is protection. Silence is maturity. Silence is wisdom. God blesses those who know when to speak and when to stay still. The problem with many people is that they say destroy their own miracles by talking too soon. They announce a seed before it becomes a tree. They expose their promise before it takes root. And when the wrong eyes see it, envy begins to move. Words of jealousy begin to circulate. Negative energy begins to form around what God was doing privately. When God gives you a financial breakthrough, it is not a call to boast. It is a call to steward. It is not an invitation to show others what you have. It is a test to see if you can handle what you prayed for. God doesn't just bless your hands, He tests your heart. And He wants to know, will you be humble when the abundance arrives? Will you still walk quietly when the favor becomes visible? Because many people can handle poverty, but few can handle prosperity. Many are faithful when they have nothing, but they lose their balance when wealth arrives. God is not against money, He is against pride. He is not against success, He is against forgetfulness. When this money comes, remember who gave it to you. Remember the tears you cried in secret, the nights you went hungry, the prayers that you whispered when no one was watching. Remember how long it took for you to get here? Because money is not just paper, it's a tool that tests the soul. It exposes what's inside you. It reveals whether your faith was genuine or if it was merely a desire for comfort. When this money comes, don't tell anyone, because some blessings are meant to be guarded until they are fully grown. When God begins to lift you, when the doors of financial increase begin to open, you must move in silence like a gardener tending a sacred field. You don't scream every time a seed sprouts. You nurture it quietly until it becomes strong enough to face the wind. There are some seasons where silence is not weakness. It is divine strategy. It's not about hiding out of fear. It's about protecting what God has entrusted to you from the noise that drains purpose. When God starts to multiply your resources, you must understand that the same people who were comfortable with your struggle might become uncomfortable. Our table with your success. It's not that they hate you. It's that your elevation confronts their complacency. Your blessing reminds them of their delay, and your growth exposes their stagnation. That is why God tells you to move quietly. He wants you to build in peace away from the opinions of those who can't handle the new version of you. Wealth is not just a reward, it is a responsibility. Or God doesn't send it to everyone because not everyone is prepared to handle the weight that comes with it. There's a spiritual discipline required to carry abundance without being destroyed by it. Many people pray for financial freedom, but few are ready for the spiritual maturity that must come with it. Because money amplifies whatever is already in your heart. If you are selfish, it will magnify your greed. If you are humble, it will magnify your generosity. If you are reckless, it will magnify your carelessness. That is why when the money comes, you must not announce it. You must sit in silence and ask God for direction. You must say, God, show me what to do with this blessing. so that it multiplies your purpose, not my ego. Because divine wealth has an assignment. It comes to shift atmospheres. It comes to restore dignity. It comes to fund vision and heal generations. And that cannot happen if your first instinct is to seek validation from people who once overlooked you. When the blessing arrives, you must also understand timing. There's a difference between what is given and what is revealed. God may give you something now, but He might instruct you not to reveal it yet. Because not every harvest is ready for display. Some fruits must ripen in the dark. Some blessings must mature quietly. When you expose them too early, you invite opposition that could have been avoided. Remember, it's easier to destroy a seed than to cut down a tree. That's why God tells you to wait. Let your wealth grow deep roots before you show its leaves. There will come a time when God will want success to be seen, not for your glory, but for His. But before that time, He will test your ability to keep secrets. He will test your discipline in silence. Can you handle the blessing privately without needing to prove it publicly? Can you stay humble while others speculate? Can you keep building when others demand explanation? Because your silence will separate you from the ordinary. When this money comes, don't let excitement make you careless. Many people lose what God gives them because they move too fast. They announce too early. They spend without vision. They invest without discernment. They allow emotions to guide what should be governed by wisdom. But divine prosperity is not emotional. It's spiritual. It requires alignment, discipline, and prayer. You must sit before God and let Him be your financial advisor. He knows where your wealth belongs. He knows who should and should not benefit from it. He knows the traps that lie ahead. And if you keep quiet and listen, He'll guide you. There's something sacred about silence in success. It keeps you grounded. It reminds you that everything you have is borrowed breath, temporary stewardship. You are not the owner, you are the vessel. God gives and He can take. So stay humble, walk softly with your blessing. Let your gratitude be private before it becomes public. Because when you learn to manage blessings in secret, God can trust you with even greater abundance. When the money comes, people will notice the change. They'll sense it. You won't have to say anything. The peace in your presence will speak louder than any announcement. You will walk differently, talk differently, think differently, not because you are proud, but because you are now operating from abundance instead of lack. God's blessing has a fragrance that cannot be hidden. But even then, don't speak about it. Just keep moving with discipline. Let them wonder what changed. God sometimes hides you in plain sight. He allows your success to money. Fast quietly so that only those meant to see it will see it. That's divine filtering. He doesn't want the wrong hands touching what He is doing in your life. He will keep you under spiritual covering until the time is right. Some people are meant to witness your testimony, but not your process. Some can celebrate your result, but cannot survive your preparation. That's why God hides certain seasons. He doesn't want to expose what is still fragile to the winds of jealousy or distraction. When the money comes, build what lasts. Don't use it to prove a point. Use it to fulfill purpose. The world wants you to spend to be seen. God wants you to spend to be significant. There's a difference. The world wants you to show off. God wants you to sow into eternity. Every currency you receive carries a moral direction. It will either draw you closer to God or drive you away from Him, depending on your intent. If you want your wealth to stay, learn to circulate it with divine wisdom. Help quietly. Give silently. Support those in need without broadcasting it. The greatest form of giving is when the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing. Because when you give in silence, you protect your blessing from pride. You disconnect your generosity from ego. You allow your giving to become worship, not performance. The money coming to you is not random. It's part of God's plan to restore what was lost, to rebuild what was broken, to heal what was wounded. But you must protect it from noise. Every time you speak unnecessarily about your blessings, you open a door for spiritual interference. You invite conversations that drain your energy. You attract eyes that bring envy. Silence is your armor. It keeps your focus pure. And when this wealth begins to change your life, remember, do not apologize for what God gave you. Stay humble, but stay confident. You are not stealing. You are receiving what was written for you. You prayed for this. You suffered for this. You waited for this. But the reason you must not tell everyone is because not everyone knows the story behind your glory. They see the blessing, but they don't see the battles you fought to get it. They see the fruit, but they don't see the fasting, the sacrifice, the faith that held you together when everything was collapsing. When this money comes, don't tell anyone, because silence will become your most powerful strategy of preservation. Silence will protect your purpose. Silence will guard your peace. There are moments in life when God answers the prayers you cried in the dark, and suddenly everything begins to shift. Doors open that were long sealed. Favor appears from directions you never expected. And an abundance starts flowing like a river that had been waiting behind an invisible dam. That moment will feel overwhelming. You will want to shout. You will want to tell everyone that the storm is finally over. But listen, that is not the time to speak. That is the time to listen, because your silence is where God will give you instruction for the next phase of your blessing. The greatest mistake people make is that they celebrate too loudly. They confuse manifestation with completion. They think the blessing means the battle is over, when in truth it means the battle has only shifted. When money enters your life, new tests begin. Tests of loyalty, tests of character, tests of discipline, tests of heart. Before you were tested by lack, now you will be tested by abundance. Before you prayed to receive, now you must pray to manage. And in that management lies your destiny. Because God doesn't only measure what He gives you, He measures what you keep sacred. There is something holy about discretion. There is a power in keeping things between you and God. When you speak too early, you allow the spiritual world around you to awaken forces that are not meant to see your light yet. They're unseen eyes, invisible listeners who react to every vibration of energy that comes from your words. When you speak carelessly, you announce your coordinates to the enemy. When you stay silent, you remain invisible under God's covering. So when this money comes, let your gratitude be private, by your head. Go into your quiet space and pour out your thanksgiving in whispers, not in noise. Because gratitude is most powerful when it's pure, not when it's performed. The world has trained people to make everything visible, their joy, their wealth, their plans. But God works through those who understand the value of secrecy. The quiet ones, the ones who build without applause, the ones who celebrate in their hearts while their lips stay still. Those are the people who cannot be touched by envy. Do not underestimate the spirit of jealousy. It does not always come from enemies. Sometimes it comes from those who love you, those who sit at your table, those who held your hand when you had nothing. Jealousy does not need to hate you to harm you. It only needs to envy what you have. That's why God says, stay silent. Not because others are evil, but because not everyone is spiritually mature enough to see your success without being affected by it. When this money comes, your spirit must stay grounded. Do not let comfort weaken your prayer life. Do not let prosperity make you forget where you came from. Do not let ease silence your hunger for God, because wealth without worship becomes wilderness. Many people get lost in abundance because they stop seeking the giver and start worshiping the gift. You must never let that happen. Every increase must draw you closer to God, not away from Him. Every new level must remind you that the source has not changed. Only the channel has. God gives wealth not to make you proud, but to make you useful. He blesses you so that you can become a vessel of provision for others. But He will not entrust His resources to someone who seeks attention more than purpose. That is why your silence is the sign that you are ready. It shows God that you vow. You either give more as a responsibility than as decoration. It shows that you understand wealth is not a symbol, it's a mission. When the blessing comes, you will notice something. The same world that ignored you will suddenly start watching you. People will ask questions. They will test your generosity. They will analyze your lifestyle. Some will disguise curiosity as conversation. They'll say, "How did you make it?" Not because they want to learn, but because they want to measure how close they can get to your blessing. This is where wisdom must rise in you like a shield. Not every question deserves an answer. Not every smile deserves trust. Not every handshake deserves partnership. Silence will save you from traps that words can create. The silence God asks of you is not about secrecy for fear, it's secrecy for strategy. Because when you move in silence, you allow God to move loudly. You create space for divine intervention. You stay unpredictable in a world that thrives on exposure. Why? Or become untraceable to those who wish to drain your energy. Silence is the highest form of self-control. And in the world of spiritual warfare, self-control is strength. When the money comes, use it to build structure. Use it to create systems that protect your peace. Don't let the money control your time. Let your purpose control your money. Remember, money is not freedom. Discipline is freedom. You can have millions and still be a prisoner of anxiety if your soul is not anchored in God. But if your heart is disciplined and your spirit is anchored, even a small income can feel like wealth, because peace multiplies whatever you have. Do not let your new abundance become a source of noise in your environment. True success is quiet because it doesn't need to shout. Let the quality of your life speak. Let the way you treat people speak. Let your generosity speak, not through announcements, but through quiet transformation in the lives of others. God's richest servants are not those who are loud about what they give, but those who give in silence and trust God to multiply it. There is something majestic about quiet prosperity. When you learn to hold blessings in stillness, you align yourself with divine rhythm. You become like the ocean, deep, vast, and calm on the surface, but powerful underneath. Shallow rivers make the most noise. Deep waters remain still. When your wealth is rooted in God, you don't need to prove it. It carries a spiritual gravity that pulls opportunities toward you without you ever needing to chase them. Understand this, when God gives you increase, He also expects secrecy until the foundation is strong. You don't show a house before the roof is finished. You don't invite visitors into a construction zone. Likewise, when God is still building your financial stability, keep the door closed. Build quietly. Let the walls rise in silence. When it's done, when it's secure, those who are meant to see it will see it. And even then you won't need to explain. Your fruit will speak for you. When this money comes, you will feel a shift inside you. You will begin to see that what once looked impossible is now possible. Your hands will carry power to create. Your words will carry weight to command. But with that power must come reverence, because money amplifies the heart. And only a heart purified by God can handle prosperity without arrogance. Pray daily. God, do not give me more than my humility can handle. That prayer will keep you safe. And never forget, wealth is temporary, but wisdom is eternal. The goal is not just to become rich, it's to become wise enough to stay blessed. Many people become wealthy but lose peace, lose family, lose purpose. But the one who walks with God, the one who stays silent and obedient, will experience wealth with peace, abundance with calm, and prosperity with purpose. That's the highest form of divine success. When this money comes, don't forget the poor. Remember the days when you had nothing. Remember the moments when you begged for help and no one came. Remember the nights when you were counting coins. That memory will keep your heart soft. Never let success make you blind to suffering. The true test of wealth is compassion. God blesses you to see whether you can become an extension of His hand. And if you keep that spirit of service alive and the flow of provision will never stop when this money comes, don't tell anyone. Because true prosperity is not loud. It is sacred. It is something you carry within your spirit long before it shows in your hands. It is not the car, the house, the brand, or the bank account that defines it. Prosperity begins when you learn that your relationship with God is the foundation of everything you have. When God decides to lift you financially, it is not to decorate your ego. It is to demonstrate His wisdom. It is not to make you idolize money, but to make you understand the responsibility that comes with divine provision. That's why when this money comes, you must protect it not only from others, but from yourself. Because sometimes the enemy does not come from outside, he comes from within. The most dangerous voice that can destroy your blessing is your own pride. The moment you start thinking, I earned this, I made this happen, I built this with my power, you have already started drifting from the purpose of the blessing. God doesn't bless you so you can glorify yourself. He blesses you so that you can glorify Him through what you do with it. That is why humility must grow at the same speed as your wealth. The higher you rise, the lower you must bow in gratitude. When this money comes, remember that God will observe not how loud you celebrate, but how wisely you manage. Because to God, stewardship is worship. When you organize your finances with purpose, when you give with intention, when you spend with discipline, when you plan with wisdom, that is a form of worship. It says, God, I respect what you gave me. I honor the trust you placed in my hands. And when God sees that kind of respect, He multiplies your resources beyond what you can imagine. Many people pray for wealth, but few prepare for the character that wealth demands. Wealth without inner growth leads to corruption. That's why sometimes God delays it. Not because He doesn't want to bless you, but because He's building your capacity to handle it. He wants to strengthen your spirit before He increases your status. Because when you rise, you will attract not only admiration, but attack. Prosperity brings both light and shadow. Some will love you for what you represent. Others will hate you for the same reason. But if your foundation is God, you will not be shaken. When this money comes, learn to guard your environment. Not everyone deserves access to your atmosphere. Some people drain your peace. Some speak words that sound innocent, but carry energy that poisons your spirit. Protect your peace like it's part of your wealth, because it is. You see and lose money and recover it. But once you lose peace, everything else loses meaning. So when God increases, you create distance between your abundance and their noise. Learn the holy art of quiet separation. It is not arrogance, it is awareness. Understand this wealth carries vibration. When you begin to prosper, it changes the frequency of your life. It attracts different people, different opportunities, and also different challenges. And if you are not spiritually alert, you can be pulled into circles that look attractive, but are empty of purpose. This is why silence is your shield. It gives you time to discern who belongs in your new season and who does not. When God lifts you financially, it is not only to bless you, but to teach you that giving is power. But even your giving must be wise. Don't give because you want attention. Don't give because you want praise. Give because it aligns with divine purpose. Some giving blesses, and some giving drains. You must learn to ask God, whereas would I sow? Because not every ground is fertile. You can waste good seed in bad soil if you don't listen to divine direction. That's why before you give, before you invest, before you expand, silence yourself and listen. The same God who gave you the wealth will give you the wisdom to place it where it multiplies goodness. And when this money comes, do not use it to prove those who doubted you wrong. Don't spend it trying to show your worth to those who ignored your struggle. You owe them nothing. Your only obligation is to God, the one who sustained you when no one else saw you. The world measures success by visibility. God measures it by obedience. What the world calls luxury, God calls stewardship. What the world calls showing off, God calls waste. When the blessing becomes visible, you must remember the invisible moments that created it. Remember the prayers, the waiting, the faith, the discipline, the nights you thought it would never come. Because gratitude keeps your heart soft. And a soft heart is the only soil where blessings can continue to grow. When gratitude leaves, greed enters. When humility fades, downfall begins. Many people collapse under the weight of the very wealth they once prayed for because they forgot who carried them when they had nothing. Never forget, silence is not just about keeping secrets from others. It's about keeping peace within yourself. It's the ability to enjoy what you have without explaining it to anyone. It's the discipline of resting in divine abundance without needing external validation. That's spiritual maturity. When you no longer need applause to feel secure, when you no longer need to prove your blessing to believe it's real, you become grounded, unbothered, and free. That's when you know you are truly rich. Not when you can buy anything, but when nothing can buy you. When this money comes, learn the rhythm of spiritual balance. Save some, invest some, give some, enjoy some, but never worship any of it. Let money see. Circulate through your hands, not through your heart. Keep your heart untouched by greed and your spirit untied to numbers. God wants you to handle wealth like water, fluid, humble, adaptable, always flowing toward purpose. If you ever feel the urge to speak about your success, pause and pray. Ask yourself, what will this confession produce? If your words bring peace, speak. If they feed pride, remain silent. Your silence will confuse your enemies and protect your destiny. Because not every battle is fought with weapons. Some are won with wisdom. Silence is wisdom. Silence is armor. Silence is proof that your trust is in God, not in applause. When God blesses you, your humility must grow deeper than your bank account. Stay approachable. Stay kind. Remember how it felt when you were overlooked. Remember how it felt when you were struggling. Use your wealth to lift others silently. Not with noise, but with compassion. The world doesn't need another loud, rich person. It needs quiet healers who use what they have to bring light into dark places. When this money comes, protect your spiritual routine. Don't let comfort replace connection. Many people lose the intimacy they once had with God when their hands get full. Their prayers shorten, their dependence fades, their sensitivity dulls. Don't let that be you. The same way you prayed in tears when you were waiting, pray with gratitude when you are receiving. When your wealth increases, your worship should deepen, because worship is what keeps wealth pure. God blesses you not to lift your status, but to expand your influence for good. And influence without integrity is poison. That's why your silence is not just about privacy. It's about maintaining purity. You cannot mix divine purpose with worldly pride. If you want your wealth to carry peace, it must be aligned with heaven, not with vanity. So when this money comes, understand it is more than income. It is instruction. God is saying, no, manage this as my representative. And earth, handle it with fear, with love, with wisdom. And if you stay faithful in that, more will come. Because God trusts those who protect what He provides. Let people wonder. Let them guess. You owe no explanation for divine elevation. Let your discipline be your message. Let your serenity be your sign. The loudest sound of divine prosperity is peace, not performance. And remember this truth. When God blesses you, He is not only giving to you, He is giving through you. You become a channel, a vessel of divine flow. The moment you try to own, you block it. But when you let it flow through gratitude and service, you step into the rhythm of endless provision. So when this money comes, don't tell anyone. Tell God, I am ready to serve with this blessing. I will honor you with this abundance. I will remain silent when others speak. humble when others boast, grateful when others forget. That is how divine wealth endures. That is how peace remains. That is how you carry prosperity without losing your soul. True prosperity is never loud, and true power never needs to announce itself. The moment you feel the urge to prove that you are blessed, you have already lost a portion of your peace. Because real wealth is not about how much you can show. It's about how deeply you can stay anchored when the storm of success comes. When God begins to elevate you, it is not only a test of your skills or discipline, it is a test of your heart. Many people can pray through poverty, but few can remain pure through prosperity. Poverty humbles by necessity, but wealth must humble by choice. That's why silence is sacred. It keeps your soul aligned when your surroundings start changing. You don't need to announce that you are growing. Your peace will reveal it. You don't need to post that you are favored. Your consistency will prove it. Because divine favor has a fragrance. It cannot be hidden, and it cannot be faked. The wise know that silence speaks the loudest language in heaven. God does not move through noise. He moves through stillness. The moment you learn to quiet your heart, you begin to hear instructions others can't. You begin to perceive divine timing with clarity. In that silence, God whispers direction. He reminds you of the purpose behind the blessing. He calls you not to collect wealth, but to steward it. You are not the owner. You are the vessel. The money, the influence, the recognition, they all flow through you like a river that must never forget its source. Because the day the river thinks it is the ocean, it begins to dry. So stay connected to the source. Let every deposit remind you of dependence. Let every opportunity remind you of obedience. Wealth was never meant to inflate you. It was meant to equip you. It's a tool for service, not a symbol of superiority. Many people rise in riches but fall in reverence. They pray less, listen less, love less, and give less. Comfort becomes their cage, and pride becomes their prison. They forget the nights they begged God for a breakthrough. They forget the humility that opened heaven's gates. They forget that tears are seeds of testimony. But you must be different. When your hands get full, keep your heart empty of pride. When the table overflows, keep your posture low. Remember how you once looked for help. Remember how it felt when nobody believed in you. That memory will protect you from arrogance, because every blessing carries a temptation to forget. But gratitude is the antidote to forgetfulness. The thankful heart never grows cold. The thankful soul never becomes blind to where it came from. So when this abundance begins to manifest, keep your spiritual rhythm alive. Don't trade worship for workload. Don't let your calendar grow so full that your prayer life shrinks. God didn't bless you to replace Him. He blessed you to represent Him. Your schedule may change, but your surrender must not. Guard your mornings. Guard your nights. Keep that secret place sacred, because that is where direction flows. The higher God lifts you, the quieter you must become inside. The noise of success can easily drown the whisper of the Spirit if you're not careful. But the one who guards his inner stillness will always walk in divine clarity. You see, success exposes you. It reveals what was hidden inside all along. Poverty hides pride because there's nothing to boast about. But when abundance comes, pride finds a microphone. And that's why God tests hearts through blessing. He watches how you handle applause. Do you still seek His approval more than theirs? Do you still hunger for His presence more than platforms? Because the true proof of maturity is not how you handle lack. It's how you handle overflow. If you can remain humble when everything you prayed for is now in your hands, you have truly conquered the self. Your silence in success is not weakness, it is wisdom. The quiet person is not uninformed, they are focused. They have learned that not everyone deserves access to their process. Some things are sacred. Some things are between you and God alone. When you start explaining what only revelation built, you invite confusion into your peace. People will never fully understand how you got here because they didn't see the nights you wrestled in faith. They didn't see the mornings you rose before dawn to pray for what you now hold. So don't waste energy justifying divine outcomes to human minds. Let them wonder. Let them speculate. The wise never chase validation. Their peace is their evidence. When you begin to live from that inner calm, your presence itself becomes healing. You start to walk into rooms not to compete, but to complete. Your energy shifts from seeking attention to giving peace. And that's where influence is born. True influence doesn't come from having followers. It comes from carrying light. People will feel your peace before they hear your words. They will sense that there's something different about you. A stability not built on money, but on meaning. That's the essence of divine prosperity. To be unshaken in abundance, unmoved by applause, untouched by ego. But understand this truth. Divine wealth comes with divine responsibility. The more God trusts you with, the more He expects from you. Every blessing is a call to stewardship. Every deposit is a test of discipline. What will you do with what He places in your hands? Will you let it flow, or will you hoard it? Because when you start claiming ownership, you stop the flow. God blesses channels, not containers. The moment you start building walls instead of bridges, the river of provision starts to thin. But when you give freely, when you sow into lives, when you lift others quietly, you activate a cycle heaven honors. You can't outgive God, but you can mirror His generosity. Use your wealth to heal, not to boast. Use your platform to uplift, not to prove. Give where you once lacked. Serve where you once suffered. The most powerful testimony is not how high you rose, but how many you raised with you. Heaven measures greatness not by accumulation, but by distribution. The more you give, the more you grow. The more you pour, the more you're filled. Because divine economy doesn't operate by subtraction. It multiplies through surrender. And as this flow continues, you must remember one sacred rule: protect your purity. Influence without integrity destroys destinies. When you begin to see results, temptations will follow. Opportunities that look divine but are rooted in deception will appear. People will approach you for partnership, not for purpose. They will flatter your name to access your favor. That's why you must stay close to the Spirit. Let discernment be your security system. Not every open door is from God. Some are distractions dressed as destiny. Learn to say no with peace. Learn to walk away from applause that costs your anointing, because the enemy can't destroy what he can't distract. In that journey, humility must be your daily garment. Pride. E is invisible to the proud, but humility keeps you aware. It's not about thinking less of yourself, but thinking of yourself less. It's about understanding that everything you have is borrowed grace. You didn't earn favor, you were entrusted with it. And the more you understand that, the easier it becomes to release it for good. You begin to live not for possession, but for purpose. You stop asking, what can I get? And start asking, what can I give? That shift is where spiritual maturity begins. As you move deeper into that awareness, you'll realize that the true currency of heaven is obedience, not money. Money follows mission, not the other way around. When your life aligns with divine instruction, provision becomes automatic. You won't have to chase success. Success will locate you. You won't need to compete. What's yours will find you. But when you stray from obedience, even abundance feels empty. Because wealth without purpose becomes a burden, not a blessing. It fills your hands but drains your soul. That's why you must never let your comfort replace your calling. Don't confuse rest with rust. God didn't bring you this far to make you comfortable. He brought you here to make you capable. Your testimony isn't finished just because your account increased. In fact, that's when the real test begins. Can you still hear God clearly when the noise of success surrounds you? Can you still feel His presence when life gets easy? Can you still kneel in gratitude when others stand in pride? Those questions define whether your wealth will serve heaven or the world. Remember, the loudest proof of divine blessing is not your possessions, it's your peace. Peace is the fragrance of alignment. It's the sound of a soul that's found its balance. When others rush, you rest. When others compete, you complete. When others boast, you bless. That's when heaven looks at you and says, I can trust this one with more. Because God never gives more to those who waste peace on performer. He gives to those who protect His presence. Let your life preach silently. Let your discipline be louder than your declarations. Let your gratitude be more visible than your gains. Don't tell people you're blessed. Let your peace show it. Don't argue about your worth. Let your results speak softly. Remember, fruit never makes noise while growing, only when it falls. So stay rooted, stay growing, stay grounded. And when you look back one day, you'll realize that the greatest miracle was not the wealth itself. It was who you became through it. You'll see that the blessing didn't just change your bank account, it transformed your heart. It taught you that silence is strength, humility is wealth, and peace is power. You'll realize that divine prosperity is not about having more, it's about needing less. It's about resting in the assurance that every good thing in your life came by grace, not grind alone. So when this money comes, when doors open and influence expands, don't shout about it, smile in silence. Thank God in secret. Use it in service. Let heaven record your obedience even when earth doesn't recognize it. Because the one who serves silently is the one heaven promotes publicly. Stay humble, stay hidden, stay holy. The world may not understand your silence, but heaven celebrates it. And in that stillness, you'll find that divine flow never ends. It only grows stronger, clearer, purer. For the true language of abundance is peace, and the truest expression of gratitude is quiet faithfulness.